All right, hey, good evening. Coming from you in the Saturn, the 98 Saturn. I'm just up at the school again. Wanted to make a quick video on more to do with mortgage, with housing prices of an average price house in the United States. And I'm going to take an average, or I'm sorry, this is a median priced home. If you live in a really expensive area, your house is going to be a lot more expensive than the median. But I'm just taking the median. So what I looked at, and again, the data is going to vary depending on what you're looking at, but I looked at an average home price of $412,000. If you take a 20% down payment, you're going to have about $83,000 in a down payment. And I know there's other costs, right? There's other costs associated with buying a house, right? It's going to be probably thousands of dollars more for all the inspections and the real estate agent and all the little things that you have to do, like the title and the insurance. And there's a bunch of hidden fees that people don't really know when they're buying a home. But now with the 30-year mortgage at, I put it at 7.3%. So if you have a 30-year mortgage at 7.3%, the monthly payment on that with the taxes and fees, according to the calculator, was right there, $2,810. So that's the amount of money that you're going to have to spend each month just to be able to live in the house. So you know you're going to have to save up about $82,000, and then your monthly mortgage is going to be right under $3,000 a month. So you guys let me know, is that something that if you're watching this video, is that something you can do? I know it is possible for a lot of people to do that, because that's very close to what they're paying in rent already. Like a lot of people are having to pay rent that is very close to $2,500 or $3,000 a month, certainly $2,000 a month in a lot of places. The only problem is a lot of the people that are renters can probably not come up with $80,000 or $100,000 in a down payment because they haven't been able to save that amount of money. And so they can't really afford to put this amount of money into a house, because then they probably don't have this stockpile of money anyway. But if they did, then they'd have like very little money left over, right? So a lot of their dry powder would be incinerated. They wouldn't have a lot of money left. So that's the situation, $2,810. And again, that's on a house worth about $400,000, a little over $400,000. Where I live, even a kind of a dumpy house is $700,000. So this is not going to be realistic for like the Seattle market. But if you're in the Midwest or certain parts of Texas or, Oklahoma, maybe certain parts of Arizona, a lot of the middle parts of the country, you can probably find a house for even less than this. That's okay. That's a decent starter home. And your mortgage will be right around $2,500 probably a month. So that's, if you live with roommates and you can rent out the rooms, it's possible. You might be able to cut that mortgage in half and you're only paying $1,400 or $1,500 a month. And then I wrote this down here too. So I actually looked up the gross income rule, but it's actually right around 28%. So you shouldn't spend more than about 28% of your gross income on housing and housing-related costs. I put it at 33%. So if you're going to afford the payment of $2,810, you're going to have a combined income, whether, you could be single or you could have a spouse or whatever, but your income's going to have to be around $8,500 a month gross, which equals about $101,000. So your income's going to have to be right around $100,000 a year in order to realistically afford a $412,000 home. And that's after you put down $82,000. So I think a lot of people could do this. They can afford $2,800 a month, right? Especially if they live with a roommate or they're married and people both work. Or again, you don't have to be married, but maybe you're with a partner and you both work. They could certainly afford this, I think. The problem is people really don't have 80,000 or 100,000 to put down, because it takes maybe a few years for a lot of people to save up that stockpile of cash. And again, this is before any other expense in your life. So insurance, most people have a car, maybe they have a car payment. They want to go, they're going to invest probably in like a retirement account. So that reduces the amount of liquid money that you're going to have for like a down payment. Everything else, if you go buy food, everyone has to eat, obviously. If you need to buy clothes, if you're, spending money on fuel, every other item in life is going to eat away at your income. So that's why they use this rule of like 30% of your income. No more than 30% of your gross income should be spent on housing, because you need to have money for other things, right? Your health changes, you have to go to the doctor, you have to get an operation, you need to buy a new wardrobe, you have to go to a wedding, it's someone's birthday party, whatever. Like there's hundreds and hundreds of dollars of expenses that could just randomly come up in your life. You need new insurance, you got a different car, whatever, right? You need to go on a trip. There's so many different expenses that come up that eat into your income. So you guys let me know what you think on if it's realistic or not. I think obviously it's just gotten harder for someone with a normal income to be able to afford a house. If you have a good income and you live in a lower cost of living area, that's great, and it's probably more realistic. But if you have a normal income or low to normal income in a more expensive area, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So I agree with people that say, hey, move to somewhere more affordable. And I think that probably is the answer. If you can't make like a really good income in a high cost of living area, your best move is probably relocating. Because even if you make a little bit less money in a lower cost of living area, you're going to end up being able to afford life there and potentially be a homeowner. But in somewhere like Seattle or New York or San Francisco or Florida or Massachusetts, and I've said it in other videos, if the average home price is closer to like $1 million, you can see how this just becomes upside down. You're not going to have enough money to pay the mortgage, let alone the down payment, right? I mean, you're going to probably need double this down payment or more, and then the mortgage is going to be a lot more. So you guys let me know what you think on it. I appreciate your comments. You can subscribe for more if you want, and we will see you on the next video. Take care.